to to anybody. You can meet the people's needs where they are, and that's our most the most serious thing, meeting the people where they are.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because collaboration is very important. And I personally feel, I moved to Peoria in 1970 to work for the Tri-County Peoria Urban League. Thought I'd be here 3 or 4 years, and here I am now 40 years later. And I personally feel that Peoria is blessed with a wide variety of services and programs and organizations. And each in their own way, in many ways, focus on specific needs, and in many cases comprehensive needs. And I certainly would hope that you would work in partnership with many agencies that have probably a much greater resource base, as well as established credibility and so forth, and that they would certainly realize the value that you can be in doing outreach or working in terms of what they are in existence for. I'm not opposed to everybody starting their own thing, but I certainly feel that we need to make certain that we're utilizing to the best of our ability the existing services that we have, and can work collaboratively with them rather than always going off in a separate direction and that type of a thing. Anything else that you either want to share with our viewers regarding kind of services? You mentioned something about prisoners or coming back, or what does that entail? And is this something that you will be starting up, or is this something that you've been doing, or what kind of success or difficulties have you had in terms of that program?
This program is designed for those guys coming out of prison, jail. It's designed when you get out, as Pastor Holly stated, these guys get out with skills, know where to live. A lot of guys in there that meets their parole date and they have nowhere to go, so they are sent back into the system, continued overcrowding. So what we are trying to do is open up a way that we can keep these guys free of substance abuse, give them an area of employment, whether it be within Council for Disadvantaged People organization, as well as providing them with affordable housing. I know it's a big task, but somebody got to start somewhere. I talked with Peoria Housing Authority, Miss Megan Lundeen, and we were fortunate enough to get a partnership letter from her and that organization in this quest. We also have the Veterans Program. That is the program that they are really focused on. But as a whole, these programs fit every need in this community. And what we want to do is try to provide these to whatever existing organization so that we can get the job done. We need to bring the community together. Everything is districtized. One area you're not able to receive help. If this agency is out in your area, then this other agent referring, worthless referrals. We're trying to eliminate worthless referrals. Time consuming. It's not enough time. People still losing jobs. And we're trying to provide employment as well.
Well, I agree. We don't need worthless referrals, but we do need to make referrals. I know most of the areas that you talked about, there are already existing services and agencies that have been doing that, from ex-offender programs to housing programs and whatever. And I'm certain that there are some people that are falling between the cracks, and what we need is somebody to refer those individuals who are falling between the cracks to those services, and we need advocates for those folks. Otherwise, you'll never have enough fiscal resources to be able to meet those needs, but you can certainly see to it that individuals or families that are faced with some of the struggles, whether they're re-entering into the community as an ex-offender, or families that are having difficulties with the kids not going to school and so forth, to kind of be the liaison between the community, or whether it's the minority community or whoever you're focusing on, to see to it that they know about these services, and to make certain that those services welcome these individuals and provide those services in an adequate way. Reverend Holly?
One thing I found out, and I've counseled with several young men, and in our neighborhood and where our church is located, and we're in the East Bluffs area, and they've come to the church. They've just come to the church because they want to talk to somebody.
Good.
And what they, they share with me, they're getting out of prison, young fellows, and they're still in their 20s, getting out of prison. They had that life. He has a child or two on the outside. Now they're back with the children and the mother, and they're tired of the gangster lifestyle. They're tired of that lifestyle. They want to do something different. But they don't have a GED. He has a felony on his record. What am I going to do? I don't want to go back. I need to provide for my family. I've got to do something. How can I be helped? And many times we try to refer them to agencies, but sometimes those agencies are far away and they can't get there. So that presents another problem.
So they need transportation.
So they need transportation.
Thank you.
And sometimes, and what we try to do, and I think what this program is going to do, is to filter out into those areas. We think some areas are more heavily involved than others, but they're really not. It's all over the city. And I think sometimes we isolate ourselves in one area, and we don't reach out to the other area because that's where we have problems too. So what we're trying to do as we network and as we partner with all the other organizations is to expand even their influence into those other areas. We can help, because there are a lot of felon back to work programs and things, but they're not all over Peoria. So we can then partner with them and spread that and go to the areas of where they're not, and then continue. And so we're all successful at it. And we don't not overloading one place, one situation. We're spreading it out so that everybody can get the help they need.
Well, I'm not quite certain what you are seeing when they're only in certain areas, because most of the agencies here in Peoria are citywide and serve the entire city geographically.
They do. They serve the citywide, but I'm on the East Bluff. I'm on the East Bluff for person, and I know a lot of the facilities, a lot of the services are not on the East Bluff.
No, the services may not be there.
And so this is what we're trying to do, is spread those services. Yeah, there's one location, but as I said before, a lot of people can't get where it needs to be. So we need the outreach areas. We need the satellite areas out there. And what we're trying to do is provide a basis to get those satellite areas, to reach those satellite areas. And so that the south side, if it's on south side, people down there can get it, East Bluffs can get it, north side can get it. Wherever you are, you'll be able to contact, and you'll be able to access all those services. So that's what I mean. It's citywide. I mean, we try to spread citywide, but you can't always get there, so you need some help. And we're just trying to extend that outreach, extend that reach with the programs we have.
Because I know, for instance, workforce development, they work with anybody, anywhere. In fact, they serve, I believe, a multi-county area, but they only have the one office, and that's right downtown at the one technology center or whatever. And they do an outstanding job, have resources, and have a tremendous track record in terms of working with ex-offenders and teaching them how to look for work and resume and training and that type of a thing. And but now, part of it is you got to, no matter how difficult it is, you're going to have to get there to apply, because if you can't get there for the training, then I don't know if you're going to be able to get there to work either. So
what we can do, for instance, we're on the East Bluff. We can take the workforce instead, and expand it out there in the East Bluffs area by utilizing these programs. We can expand that program to them. So therefore, the individuals out there that may not, come downtown, and we have that mentality. If they're not going to help me anyway. Well, we can say,
I'm
here
sorry
you come.
they feel that way.
Yeah, here you come. You can come here and receive it too. And so we're just saying that you've got a satellite area, and that's all we're trying to do is just be a satellite for those organizations. As I said, we're trying to partner with everybody because we think everybody's got all the programs.
That's right.
And I'm one that says you don't reinvent the wheel.
Right. and that's a key word. I'm getting cues that we're going to have to kind of wind it down. But as the past human resources or human services director with the city during the 70s when it started, I personally want to thank you for identifying a need and getting a program started to see to it that everyone can utilize the services that are available and is aware of the programs. And I wish the three of you, as well as others who are involved with you, to continue on the journey of seeing to it that those who are the most in need hopefully can get at least something, if not the most. And I want to extend to you an opportunity to come back in the future if there's anything that's going on that you think would be of value for our community to know about. We're going to take a short break, and I hope that you've heard something tonight. And as I said, we're going to have those informational things at the end of the program as far as phone numbers or website and so forth. So please stay tuned, and we'll have another interesting segment coming up next. Welcome back to Captions, and I'm quite certain that you're going to really enjoy as well as realize some information and some rights that you have that maybe you did not know about prior to this segment. Tonight we're going to be talking about father rights, and I have three very interesting individuals who are going to share with you some of their knowledge and experience involved in Illinois father rights. Sitting immediately to my left is Tim Brown. To his left is Ian Mitchell, and to his left, a person that many of you may recognize, General Parker. Gentlemen, welcome to Captions.
Thank you.
I am so glad that you took the time this evening to come and share with us a very important organization that you're involved with, as well as I'd like for you to share with our viewers what your mission is as an organization. Jim, let me begin with you. What is the Illinois Fathers Organization?
We're a group of primarily fathers, although we also have a number of ladies in our group, grandparents as well. What we're all about is the role that a father plays, or more specifically a non-custodial parent, in the aftermath of a divorce or in the aftermath of a family separation. And in a nutshell, we're trying to get the message out there to the public that all of the ill effects of father absence are being forced upon society, because fathers are in effect being forcibly separated from their children. And what we would like is for an expanded role for these non-custodial parents in the aftermath of an unfortunate divorce or separation.
Okay, well, it's a very interesting view of it, because many listeners, in fact, I've often kind of criticized many men for not coming forth and taking on the responsibility of being a father. And what you're saying is that in many cases, fathers are really being denied their rights to be a father who choose to be a father.
You know, I don't like the term father's rights. I don't, we're grown-ups. You know, I don't think we have rights. We have a God-given responsibility to fulfill to our children, to parent them, to nurture them, to set an example. And unbelievably, this is a responsibility that we want to fulfill, but unfortunately some judge tells us that we can't. Some judge tells us that it's in the best interest of our children that we be separated from them.
Can be labeled as visitors.
We are authorized to visit our children every other weekend because that's what one person wants.
Well, I know historically and traditionally we've always kind of assumed that the mother would always be the one to get the children, and it was in the best interest of the family or the child to be with the mother. Now, Ian, do you agree or disagree with that, or what are your comments?
I certainly don't agree with that.
Okay.
I think that we need to have both parents involved in children's lives, because you learn lessons from both of your parents. Your father is different than your mother. Both have skill sets to bring to the table. That is the cornerstone of what you receive in life. I mean, you only get two things in this world: a mother and a father.
Absolutely.
And then after that, everything else is stuff that you work for. So if you automatically remove one of those out of the equation, you're missing a substantial portion of your history, of your background, that and of the lessons learned in life that you would stand to gain from that person.